Quick Facts with Franklin. I hope you learned something. Love you. Bye. If you look at the massive boulders in Joshua Tree National Park, you might assume they fell from the sky or were dragged here by glaciers. But these giants actually rose from the depths of the earth. 100 million years ago, a massive chamber of molten magma cooled and hardened underground into solid granite. For eons, they sat invisible beneath the surface, waiting for the wind and water to uncover them. They are the exhumed bones of a prehistoric volcano. The strange, rounded shape of these boulders is the result of a process called spheroidal weathering. Imagine a rectangular ice cube sitting in a glass of water. Because the corners have the most surface area, they melt the fastest, eventually turning the cube into a sphere. Groundwater seeped into the cracks of the granite blocks underground, eating away at the edges for millions of years. When the surrounding soil finally eroded away, it left these perfectly rounded giants stacked on top of each other, like a game of cosmic marbles. But the park's most incredible secret is a biological love story with a terrifying catch. The Joshua tree and the tiny yucca moth are locked in a partnership called obligate mutualism. The moth is the only creature on Earth that can pollinate the tree, and it does so intentionally to ensure its larvae have seeds to eat. The tree, in turn, is the only place the moth can lay its eggs. It is a biological pact, where if one species disappears, the other vanishes instantly. Despite their name and appearance, Joshua trees are not actually trees at all. They are giant succulents and members of the agave family, the same group that produces tequila. The park itself is a massive collision zone between two completely different desert ecosystems. To the west is the high, cool Mojave Desert, and to the east is the low, baking Colorado Desert. The Joshua tree only exists in the narrow, perfect band where these two worlds overlap. To learn more about Joshua Tree, read about ecology. Plan a visit to Joshua Tree National Park during a new moon to see the Milky Way arching over the praying trees. Experiencing the absolute silence of this ancient landscape changes your perspective on time itself. How birds fly is not a mystery of magic, but a master class in physical fluid dynamics. Air is not empty space, it is a literal wall of matter that you can push against. When a bird jumps, it is actually stepping onto an invisible staircase of atoms. By pushing down on the air birds turn, a transparent gas into a solid platform for takeoff. Flight begins the moment you realize that air is a physical substance with massive pressure. A bird's wing is a biological, curved slide called an airfoil. Because the top is curved, air has to run faster to reach the back edge at the same time. This high speed creates a zone of lower pressure according to Bernoulli's principle. The higher pressure underneath pushes the bird up, while the vacuum on top pulls it higher. The shape of the wing is a physical machine designed to harness the invisible power of lift. Flapping is not just an up and down motion, it is a powerful swimming stroke through the sky. On the downstroke, a bird tilts its wings to pull itself forward like a high-speed propeller. This movement creates thrust by forcing air backward and dragging the bird into the horizon. Every flap is a calculated explosion of energy that converts vertical lift into horizontal speed. Birds effectively swim through the air using their feathers as high-performance paddles. The ultimate mastery of the sky belongs to the great frigate bird. These ocean wanderers can stay aloft for up to 2 solid months at a time without ever touching land or water. To survive, they have developed the ability to sleep while actively flying. They shut down one half of their brain for microscopic naps lasting just a few seconds. They essentially run on biological autopilot while drifting on thermal updrafts. To learn more about how birds fly, visit your local natural history museum and ask to see a real bird skeleton up close. Looking at the delicate struts inside, a wing bone changes how you look at the sky forever. Mother Nature is a great architect. North Carolina holds the record for more miles of coastline than any other state on the East Coast. Raleigh serves as the buzzing capital, where historic charm meets modern tech innovation. You can now buy ice cream on Sundays. Yes, you heard that right. Start the day skiing at Sugar Mountain and hit the beach in Wilmington by the afternoon. Being the 12th state to join the Union gave North Carolina a massive head start on American history. This mix of mountains, beaches, and quirky laws makes it the ultimate playground for your next adventure. Meet the Northern Cardinal, the absolute rock star of the sky for anyone living in North Carolina. This vibrant red icon isn't just a pretty face. It's a seasoned warrior that thrives all year round. You'll never forget its signature move, that loud whistling song it sings, even in the dead of winter. Hearing their loud song is the best proof that you have truly arrived in the Tar Heel state. Jane Goodall completely shattered the rules of modern science without even holding a college degree. When she walked into the Gombe Stream Reserve in 1960, she brought nothing but a notebook, binoculars, and impossible patience. She was told a young woman had no place in the African jungle alone. Instead, she launched the longest continuous study of wild animals in human history. She didn't just study nature, she lived inside it until it opened up to her. The scientific establishment at the time openly mocked her methods. In academic circles, animals were strictly subjects, assigned cold, sterile numbers to prevent emotional attachment. She threw that rule away and gave the chimpanzees names like David Greybeard and Flo. She documented their profound grief, joy, and complex family bonds, which the establishment dismissed as unscientific fairy tales. But her emotional connection allowed her to see things the numbers never could. Her absolute vindication came quietly on a dusty jungle trail. She watched a chimpanzee named David Greybeard strip leaves off a twig and use it to fish termites out of a mound. Until that exact moment, the ability to make and use tools was the defining characteristic of being human. Her mentor famously declared that science must now redefine tools, redefine humans, or accept chimpanzees as humans. Her discovery fundamentally changed our place in the universe. However, she also discovered an incredibly dark mirror to our own species. In 1974, she documented the outbreak of the Gombe Chimpanzee War. A unified troop violently split into two factions, engaging in a brutal, systematic 4-year conflict of territorial assassination. It proved beyond a doubt that chimpanzees share our capacity for dark, calculated warfare. It was a terrifying realization that our violent nature is rooted deep in our shared biological past. To learn more about primate behavior, check out the documentaries of the Gombe Reserve and see the legacy of her research. Today, she continues to travel the globe, fighting for conservation and the survival of our closest living relatives. Thank you, Jane Goodall, for teaching us that we are not totally separated from the rest of the animal kingdom. I hope you learned something. If not, let's watch again. Love you. Bye.